Epictetus once said, "If you wish to be loved, love yourself first." Yet too many men ignore this wisdom and try to buy love through excessive giving. They believe that if they shower a woman with attention, make her their world, and put her happiness above their own, she'll love them in return. But instead of gratitude, they're met with distance. Instead of affection, they face rejection. Why? Because love isn't something you earn through sacrifice. It's something you command through presence, self-respect, and unshakable inner strength. So if you've ever wondered, why does she pull away when I give her my all? This video is for you. Today, we'll break down why overgiving backfires, how to embody true strength, and why the man who stands firm in his own worth is the one who truly captures a woman's heart. 1. Why clinging to her lowers your value. Let's start with a reality check. The men who care the most are often the ones women walk away from, not because they reject love, but because excessive attachment signals something deeper. Here's the surprising truth. It's not the affection that pushes her away, but how that affection is expressed. When you latch on too quickly, you unknowingly send a message that repels rather than attracts. It says, "I can't be happy without you. You complete me." That kind of energy isn't romantic. It's overwhelming. It's suffocating. It doesn't feel like love. It feels like neediness. Showering a woman with all your time, energy, and attention from the very beginning may seem sweet, but in reality, it signals scarcity. It subtly tells her, you have no other priorities. You have no other options. You have no real sense of self beyond the relationship. Instead of seeing you as a strong, purpose-driven man, she starts to see someone whose entire existence revolves around her. Now imagine this. You meet a woman and right away you start rearranging your schedule for her, texting her constantly and neglecting your own life just to be available. At first she might appreciate the attention, but soon doubts creep in. Why is he so available? Doesn't he have anything else going on? Is he chasing me because he thinks I'm his only chance? This isn't about her playing games or wanting to create distance. It's about her natural instinct to be with a man who is secure in himself, who has his own mission and isn't looking for someone to complete him. 2. The Stoic secret to attraction. This is where Stoic philosophy offers a powerful lesson. The concept of memento mori, remember that you must die, isn't meant to be depressing. It's a reminder that everything in life is fleeting, and that includes relationships. When you truly understand this, you stop attaching your entire self-worth to another person. You love deeply, yes, but you never make someone else the sole source of your happiness. Instead of centering your life around one person, you build a life filled with purpose, passion, personal goals. When you're fully engaged in your own journey, you naturally become more attractive. You're not chasing her, you're chasing excellence, and that's what draws people in. You're not desperate for attention. You're creating a life so compelling that others want to be part of it. You're not looking for approval. You're already self-assured. 3. The man she won't walk away from. Here's the hard truth. Men who abandon their own identity in the name of love often find themselves abandoned in return. Because genuine connection isn't built on dependence. It's built on mutual admiration and respect. The moment you sacrifice your own sense of self just to keep her, you've already lost. So instead of seeking validation, focus on building your own inner strength and developing a solid sense of self-worth. When you do, you'll notice something interesting. Women won't leave because you care, because you prioritize yourself first. Why she's losing interest in you. Most men don't realize that when a woman starts to pull away, it's not always about what they did, but what they became. At its core, this shift is often influenced by something deeply ingrained in human nature, hypergamy. Before you assume this means materialism or superficiality, understand this. It's not about chasing wealth or status for its own sake. It's a fundamental instinct that has shaped human relationships for centuries. Women are naturally drawn to the highest value partner they can find. This doesn't mean she's looking for the richest or most powerful man. It means she's subconsciously seeking someone who embodies strength, confidence, and self-assurance. Yet one of the most common mistakes men make is thinking that constant attention, over-the-top devotion, and making her the center of their world will deepen attraction. Ironically, the opposite happens. When a man becomes too available and too eager too soon, he plants a seed of doubt in her mind. Why is he trying so hard to lock me down? If he's this desperate to secure me, is he really the best I can do? Why isn't he acting like a man who has options? It's not that she doesn't appreciate kindness and effort. It's that hypergamy compels her to seek strength and certainty. And a man who rushes to prove himself unintentionally signals the opposite. When success isn't enough, imagine a man who seems to have it all. He's in great shape. He carries himself well. He's respected in his career. But the moment he starts chasing a woman relentlessly, texting her non-stop, changing his plans for her, making her his priority before she's even fully invested, his value in her eyes starts to drop. Despite his achievements, his behavior suggests something is missing: inner security and abundance. Instead of radiating the confidence of a man who is in control of his life, he appears needy. And that's when she starts to withdraw. Why this isn't about manipulation? Here's what you need to understand. She's not being shallow or playing games. She's simply responding to an instinct that pushes her toward the strongest, most capable partner. Hypergamy isn't about chasing the wealthiest man or the flashiest lifestyle. It's about being drawn to a man who is self-assured, competent, independent. This is where Stoicism offers a powerful lesson. The Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of fate, teaches us to accept reality rather than resist it. Instead of resenting hypergamy or feeling bitter about how attraction works, embrace it. You can't control her subconscious instincts, but you can control how you respond to them. Shift the focus from her to you. Rather than obsessing over whether she's losing interest, shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, am I living up to my full potential? Am I building a life that fulfills me, regardless of who is or isn't beside me? When you prioritize your own growth, confidence becomes a natural byproduct. You won't feel the need to chase, convince, or prove your worth, because your value will speak for itself. Attraction isn't about persuading someone to choose you. It's about becoming the kind of man she naturally gravitates toward. So instead of stressing over her fading interest, focus on becoming someone you are proud of. Now, take a moment to reflect. Before we move on, drop a comment below and type, "I strive to be my best self." By doing this, you're not just participating, you're making a commitment to self-respect and personal excellence. And this journey? It's just getting started. Up next, the pitfalls of letting emotions take over. One of the biggest traps men fall into in relationships is allowing emotions to dictate their decisions. At first, it seems natural. Love, excitement, and passion feel like forces worth following. But when your choices are driven solely by emotions, you risk losing yourself in the process. The cost of emotional impulsiveness. Ever made a snap decision just to keep someone happy? Maybe you cancelled an important commitment because she wanted your time, or perhaps you put your personal goals on hold just to accommodate her needs. At the moment, it might have felt like an expression of care. But in reality, it sent a different message, one that said your priorities are negotiable in exchange for approval. Over time, this pattern subtly chips away at your value. It signals a lack of inner stability, showing her that your emotions, not your principles, are driving your decisions. And when a man's choices are easily swayed by feelings, a woman begins to wonder, can he handle life's challenges? Will he be a steady presence when things get tough? Or will he crumble under pressure? A woman doesn't want a man who's easily thrown off course. She seeks someone who is composed, grounded, and unshakable, someone she can rely on when life gets unpredictable. At the heart of a strong relationship is a solid foundation, and that starts with your ability to think clearly and act with intention. If you constantly let fleeting emotions dictate your choices, you're building something fragile, like a house on unstable ground. It may hold up for a while, but eventually the cracks will show. Emotions are powerful, but they shouldn't lead. This isn't about shutting down your emotions or pretending to be unfeeling. That's not strength. That's avoidance. Instead, real power comes from mastering your emotions, acknowledging them, understanding them, but never letting them dictate your actions. Your feelings are valuable. They offer insight and self-awareness. But they should inform your decisions, not control them. A woman respects a man who can balance emotional awareness with rational thinking. A man who knows when to listen to his heart, but ultimately leads with his mind. The wisdom of Stoicism. Thinking. Long-term. The Stoic philosopher Seneca believed that true wisdom comes from acting in alignment with your values, rather than being led astray by temporary desires. In moments of intensity, it's easy to avoid conflict just to keep the peace. Seek approval for immediate reassurance. Make impulsive choices to chase an emotional high. But as Seneca reminds us, these impulses often lead us down the wrong path. Instead, we should strive for clarity, making choices that reflect our long-term vision and core principles. Think of your values as an internal compass. They guide you through emotional turbulence, keeping you steady even when things feel chaotic. And when you stay true to what you stand for, you earn not only her respect, but your own. This kind of consistency builds attraction because it demonstrates strength, reliability, and maturity. True strength, mastering your emotions, not suppressing them. A truly strong man doesn't bury his emotions. He understands them, processes them, and then chooses his actions wisely. This level of emotional discipline is rare, but it's also incredibly compelling. It signals a depth of self-mastery that most men never reach. So next time you feel tempted to make a rash decision just to keep her happy, pause and ask yourself, is this in line with my values? Am I doing this because it's truly right, or just because it feels good in the moment? By leading with logic and allowing emotions to support rather than control, you establish yourself as a man of depth, stability, and confidence. A man she can look up to, trust, and respect. And that, more than anything, is what makes you irreplaceable. Up next, women gravitate towards strength, not neediness. Women are instinctively drawn to men who exude confidence and stability, especially in uncertain times. But when a man becomes emotionally reliant on her, always seeking reassurance and validation, it creates the opposite effect. She may not consciously realize it, but deep down, a question arises. If he depends on me to feel secure, how can he be the strong presence I need? Why strength attracts and neediness pushes her away. Picture two men in a relationship. The first leans heavily on his partner for emotional security. He constantly needs reassurance, always checking in, adjusting his life around her, and making her the center of his world. He might think he's being devoted, but in reality, he's signaling that he needs her presence to feel whole. The second man, however, is different. He values her deeply, but stays grounded in his own purpose. He has his own ambitions, remains focused on his personal growth. And while he genuinely enjoys being with her, he doesn't need her to validate his worth. Now, which man do you think naturally draws her in? The answer is obvious. Why strength is magnetic. Women are instinctively drawn to strength not because they're looking for a tough, emotionless partner, but because strength signals leadership, reliability, and stability. A man who is independent yet caring sends an unspoken message: checkmark, I am capable. I can handle challenges. You can trust me to stand firm. This attraction to strength isn't just about personal preference, it's biological. Throughout history, survival often depended on strong, resilient men, those who could protect, provide, and lead. Even in today's world, where physical survival isn't the main concern, these instincts persist. Women are still drawn to men who radiate self-assurance because it suggests that when adversity strikes, he won't crumble under pressure. Why neediness is a red flag. On the flip side, excessive emotional attachment can trigger doubts. If a man becomes overly dependent too soon, a woman will start to wonder, if he's this attached already, how will he handle real struggles? Can he stay composed when life gets difficult? Will I have to carry his emotional burdens? It's not that she doesn't want affection. She just needs a partner who can love without losing himself in the process. The Stoic perspective. True strength comes from within. The ancient Stoics understood this well. They taught that real strength isn't found in external validation, but in self-mastery. The philosopher Epictetus put it best: no man is free who is not master of himself. This applies to relationships too. To be truly desirable, you must cultivate self-reliance. Your confidence should come from within, not from her approval. When you embrace this mindset, something powerful happens. You no longer feel the need to chase her attention. Instead, your confidence becomes self-evident, and she's naturally drawn to it. How to shift from attachment to strength. If you find yourself constantly seeking her reassurance, pause and redirect your focus. Strengthen yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Be a man who loves deeply, but maintains his identity. Show her that while she's important to you, you're strong enough to stand on your own. When you cultivate this inner resilience, you don't have to beg for attention. She will be drawn to you, because strength is irresistible. Affirm it. I am strong, confident, and independent. Take a moment to internalize this shift. Changing from attachment to inner strength won't just improve your relationships, it will transform how you see yourself. If you're ready to step into this new mindset, type it out. I'm strong, confident, and independent. These words aren't just affirmations, they're a commitment to yourself, to your growth, and to becoming the man you were always meant to be. Up next, why she slips away without a word. Women rarely end relationships with a dramatic goodbye. Instead, they withdraw gradually, and if you don't recognize the signs, it might be too late before you realize what's happening. When she slips away without a word. Most women don't end relationships with a dramatic breakup scene. Instead, they slowly withdraw, creating emotional distance without needing an explicit confrontation. It's a form of self-protection, allowing her to detach before making a final decision. The problem. Many men don't notice the warning signs. They assume that as long as she hasn't voiced a problem, everything must be fine. But the truth is, her behavior speaks louder than words ever could. If you're too caught up in your emotions, you might miss the subtle shifts. And by the time she finally tells you she's done, it may feel like it came out of nowhere. Why it's hard to see the slow fade. When you care deeply about someone, you want to believe everything is fine. You tell yourself she's just busy, stressed, or distracted. You convince yourself it's just a phase, but deep down, you sense something has changed. Acknowledging this is painful, because it forces you to confront a tough reality. She may be slipping away. Seeing reality clearly. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In relationships, this means observing her actions objectively, rather than letting fear or wishful thinking distort your judgment. Instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back and assess. Is she still making an effort to spend time with you? Does she initiate conversations, or are you always the one reaching out? Are her words and actions aligned, or is there a growing disconnect? When you approach the situation with clarity, you put yourself in a position to respond thoughtfully, rather than react out of panic. How to handle it like a man of strength. The worst response when a woman pulls away? Becoming needy or chasing her for reassurance? The best response? Respecting the space she's creating and using it as an opportunity to focus on yourself. This doesn't mean playing games or ignoring her, it means showing that you're secure enough to let her breathe. If she's genuinely interested, she'll notice your composed, self-assured response. And if she's already halfway out the door, then you've saved yourself from clinging to someone who was leaving anyway. Strength and emotional composure. Leave a lasting impression. A man who handles emotional challenges with grace and confidence stands out. He shows that he's not desperate to keep someone at any cost, and that makes him memorable. In the end, it's not about forcing her to stay. It's about being the kind of man who doesn't fear loss, because he knows his own worth. Why it's the emotional experience that matters. Attraction isn't about a checklist. It's about how a woman feels when she's with you. If you're only relying on surface-level appeal, you might impress her at first, but you won't leave a lasting mark. It's rooted in emotion, not just appearance. Attraction isn't about checking off boxes. It's about how she feels when she's with you. Many men believe they need wealth, status, or a sculpted physique to keep a woman intrigued. While those things might catch her attention, they won't keep her invested if you don't understand the power of emotional engagement. Women can sense. When you're performing, women have a deep intuition. They can feel when a man is leading with his accomplishments rather than his presence. When you rely solely on external factors, it comes across as hollow, like you're performing rather than connecting. Instead of fixating on what you have, shift your focus to what you bring, the energy you create in the moment, the way you make her feel when she's around you, the depth of your presence and engagement. Are you fully present, or are you just going through the motions? Are you creating an experience, or just relying on surface-level traits to keep the conversation going? Emotional presence creates lasting attraction. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." While you can't control how she feels, you can choose the kind of man you want to be. When you live with confidence, purpose, and authenticity, you naturally create an emotional dynamic that pulls people toward you. You're not trying to impress, you're simply being the best version of yourself. That's what makes a woman truly take notice. It's not about perfection, it's about impact. Women may forget your words or the things you own, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. The thrill of being around you, the comfort of your presence, the sense of being truly seen and understood. Attraction isn't built on perfection, it's built on authenticity. When you stir emotions, curiosity, excitement, even a little tension, you create something deeper than attraction. You build connection. Becoming unforgettable. So, stop worrying about checking boxes. Instead, focus on creating experiences she won't forget. Lead with who you are, embrace your individuality, and let your interactions flow naturally. That's what makes a man truly unforgettable. If this message resonates, take a second and commit to this shift in mindset. Drop a comment below. I prioritize connection. This small action is a powerful step toward transforming the way you engage with women. Next, the power of mystery and imagination. Women are deeply drawn to intrigue and anticipation. If you're too predictable, too available, or always saying yes, you take away the excitement. Living with passion makes you unforgettable. Attraction isn't about playing games or creating artificial distance. It's about leading a dynamic life. When you're constantly learning, growing, and stepping outside your comfort zone, you naturally become intriguing. Women aren't just looking for stability, they crave adventure, inspiration, and the emotional highs that make life feel extraordinary. When you bring an element of unpredictability and excitement into the connection, you transform from being just a reliable partner into something much more, an experience she doesn't want to miss. Let her wonder about you. Rather than always being available or predictable, embrace spontaneity. Invest in your own interests. Explore new passions. Keep her guessing in a way that sparks curiosity. Let her mind wander. What's he doing? What's he thinking? What's coming next? Authentic adventure can't be faked. It must be lived. Ultimately, attraction isn't about ticking off a checklist. It's about how you make her feel. When you introduce mystery, excitement, and a sense of possibility into her world, you become someone she wants to chase, someone who makes life feel like an unfolding story worth being part of. The strength of measured detachment. The more secure you are in your ability to walk away, the more she feels drawn to you. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about demonstrating self-respect and emotional resilience. True confidence comes from the mindset that says, I appreciate you, but I don't depend on you for my fulfillment. Why detachment fuels attraction. When a woman realizes that you won't cling or chase, it subtly shifts the dynamic. Suddenly you become the one she doesn't want to lose. Consider the appeal of something just beyond reach. The harder it is to obtain, the more we desire it. This is a fundamental principle of human psychology. We crave what isn't easily accessible. When you embody measured detachment, you send a powerful message. My life isn't centered around you. I have my own purpose, my own direction. And that sparks intrigue. She starts wondering, why isn't he pursuing me like the rest? What makes him so certain of himself? What does he possess that I haven't figured out yet? This curiosity fuels attraction, making her want to invest in winning you over. Desperation kills attraction. On the other hand, if you're constantly seeking validation, always trying to prove your worth, and going out of your way to please her, it has the opposite effect. Instead of seeing you as a high-value man, she starts perceiving you as someone who is overly eager, and nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. The more you try to convince her you're worth it, the less compelling you become. What measured detachment really means. This doesn't mean ignoring her or pretending to be indifferent. It means valuing yourself first. You're present, but you're not chasing. You care, but you're not dependent. You give to the relationship, but you don't lose yourself in it. Instead of forcing things, you let the connection unfold naturally, without sacrificing your own direction in life. A high-value man doesn't beg, he attracts. A man with this mindset exudes a rare and undeniable attraction. He doesn't react emotionally to every shift in her behavior. He doesn't get pulled into games of push and pull. He understands that his time and energy are valuable. This doesn't make him emotionally unavailable. It makes him the kind of partner she hopes to secure. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus captured this perfectly when he said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you master measured detachment, you gain a quiet, unshakable confidence. You're no longer trying to win her over. She's hoping to win you over. That's the shift that changes everything. Mastering measured detachment in relationships. A strong, fulfilling relationship doesn't come from seeking constant validation or basing your self-worth on how someone else perceives you. True confidence comes from within. When you detach from the need for reassurance, you free yourself from emotional dependence. Instead of obsessing over where the relationship is headed or whether she stays or goes, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Live by your principles, maintain your standards, and allow things to unfold naturally. This mindset is liberating. It puts you in control of your emotions rather than making you dependent on someone else's approval. Measured detachment isn't a tactic to manipulate. It's a commitment to valuing yourself enough to walk away when necessary. It's about safeguarding your emotional independence. It's about maintaining your dignity. It's about refusing to let another person determine your self-worth. The power shift. When a woman sees that you respect yourself and won't settle for anything less than mutual effort, the dynamic shifts. She begins to recognize that it's her who must work to keep your attention, not the other way around. The most captivating men aren't the ones who chase approval. They're the ones who are comfortable in their own skin, who lead with confidence, and who set their own standards. By embracing stoic resilience and mastering measured detachment, you become that man, the one who is calm, assured, and truly irresistible. Conclusion: love with strength, not desperation. As we wrap up, let's reflect on one of the biggest paradoxes in relationships. Why does expressing too much affection sometimes push a partner away instead of drawing them closer? The issue isn't love itself. It's how that love is expressed. When care turns into emotional dependence or relentless pursuit, it can make the other person feel suffocated. The very actions meant to strengthen the bond can end up creating distance instead. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism becomes invaluable. The Stoics emphasized self-discipline, self-worth, focusing on what we can control. In relationships, this means leading with composure and purpose, not constantly seeking approval. When you stand firm in your identity, you naturally become more desirable. People are drawn to those who are secure within themselves, not those who cling to external validation. Love with wisdom, not neediness. The key takeaway isn't to love less. It's to love wisely. Show care, but from a place of strength, not desperation. Be generous with affection, but don't let it define your self-worth. Continue nurturing your own ambitions, passions, and personal growth outside of your romantic life. This balance prevents neediness and allows love to thrive without consuming your individuality. A question for you. Before we end, take a moment to reflect. Are you living in alignment with your personal values and aspirations? Or are you compromising too much in pursuit of someone else's approval? The answer might reveal a powerful truth that transforms how you navigate relationships. I encourage you to apply these insights. Become the man who is sure of himself, who gives love without losing himself, and who leads with quiet strength. When you cultivate these qualities, you won't just become more attractive. You'll also experience a deeper sense of inner fulfillment, no matter where life takes you. Let's keep this conversation going. Drop a comment below. Have you ever struggled with over-investing in relationships? How do you maintain a healthy balance? Share your experiences so we can learn from each other. If this message resonated with you, give this video a like. It really helps support the channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more content on mastering relationships with Stoic wisdom. Check out the recommended videos on the screen to dive even deeper into these ideas. Thanks for watching, and remember, true power lies in choosing love, not needing it.